Heartless, Forbidden, Book 1. Written by Suzana Thompson. Narrated by Paulina Schubert. Chapter 5. As I opened the door, Cade barged in without being invited. "You will stop working with Jenna." "Hello," I said. "Nice of you to come over. Make yourself right at home." He glanced around in distaste. "This is where you live?" I continued my sarcasm. "No, I'm just visiting. Uninvited, like you." "I didn't invite you to my place either," he retorted. "No," I agreed, "but your dad did. I didn't just show up for no reason." "Your mom invited me too," he replied. "She said that I could come home after school with you." I frowned. When was this? "Months ago," he threw out carelessly as he wandered further into the apartment. "When I first met her." "Hey," I protested, "stay out of my room." He ignored me as he strode into it and saw my unmade bed. His eyes lingered on the bra I had dropped on the floor when I removed it after arriving home. It was just Mom and me, so I felt free to get comfortable when I was home. But I was very uncomfortable now and crossed my arms over my chest. That only made it worse because the gesture alerted Kate to the fact that I was braless. He smirked at me. "Is this what your mom had in mind when she said I could come home with you? It wouldn't be the first time one of my dad's gold diggers tried to set me up with their daughter. 2 birds, 1 stone, I guess." I straightened up to be as haughty as possible while still keeping my arms over my chest. "First of all, your dad was the one chasing after my mom. She turned him down when he asked her out, and he kept begging her every day for almost 3 months. I was stretching the truth with that one, but I doubted he knew that. I gave him a menacing glare. "So call her a gold digger one more time and I'll punch you in the mouth." I then ruined the effect by wincing as I recalled Mom's story about her father hitting his wife across the mouth. Cade's thick eyebrows rose before his face settled into an amused expression. "How are you going to do that and hide your nipples from me at the same time?" I felt my face heating up, and my gaze flitted away from his to the rest of the clothes scattered around my room. My closet was tiny, but I didn't have an enormous wardrobe. I could have managed to put everything away if I knew that anyone was coming over. Not that I cared what Cade thought about me. His room could be a mess too for all I knew. I abruptly spun away from him and walked out into the living room, which was where the entrance to the apartment was. There weren't many steps to get to the door. "Get out," I ordered with my back still turned to him. "That's what I tried to tell you," he replied, "but you told me you were staying." "No wonder you're desperate to move into my house," he continued as he stepped around me. "This place is a dump. It doesn't even have any security. Anybody can just walk into the building anytime they want." What he said was true, but I bristled at his rudeness. "If you're done insulting my home and my mom, get the hell out." "Here's the deal," he stated. "Get your mother to suggest a prenup agreement to my dad. If she's not a gold digger, then she won't have a problem with that. She gets $1 million and she's not entitled to anything else." My mouth dropped open and I gaped at him. $1 million. How much freaking money do these people have? He smiled condescendingly. "I guess that number's good with you. Get it done and stop scheming with Jenna." I scrambled to gather my wits. "What do I get in this deal?" He glowered at me. "Are you kidding? You're living in a roach motel and $1 million isn't enough for you?" "We don't have roaches," I informed him in annoyance, although I had feared the same thing myself when we first moved in. Thankfully, it had somehow managed to be spared that problem so far, and it was the only good thing about the place. "And not everything is about money," I added. "I want you to leave Skylar alone. Cancel the date and don't ask her out again. That's your part in this deal." He studied me like he was trying to figure out if I was serious. "Why don't you want me to go out with her?" "Because I don't want you to break her heart," I answered. "She really likes you for some reason, and I don't want her to get hurt." "It won't hurt her if I cancel the date?" he questioned. "Since she likes me so much and wants to go out with me." "It will," I acknowledged, "but it will hurt her less than if you break up with her later." "I see," he said, while his probing gaze made me feel like he could see more than I wanted him to. "Okay," he agreed suddenly, his brisk tone snapping me out of his concentrated scrutiny. Done. But you have to get your mom to suggest a prenup first, and drop Jenna as your partner. Done? I snapped at him with contrary anger over his easy capitulation. Just like that? You never even cared about going out with Skylar, did you? Did you expect me to tell you that I'm in love with her and nothing can keep us apart? He retorted. Besides, I thought this was what you wanted. What's the problem now? The problem is guys like you who just use girls, I told him. You don't even care how they feel about you. How can you be so heartless? I didn't use her for anything, he shot back, so don't put your own drama on me. What are you talking about? What kind of drama did I put on you? I demanded. Guys who use girls, he mimicked me. Whoever used you doesn't have shit to do with me, so... My rant cut him off. You don't know what you're talking about. Nobody used me. I just know guys like you use girls because you're selfish and you only care about yourself. That's all this is about, so don't try to turn this on me. Somebody used you, he stated coldly. You wouldn't be this emotional about guys using girls if it didn't happen to you. But whatever. I don't care. Just stick to the deal and we'll be fine. You stick to the deal, I insisted. Cancel the date with Skylar and I'll get my mom to sign a prenup. Do you think I'm stupid? He asked me. After you get what you want, you won't care what I want. Not everyone is like you, I retorted. I'll hold up my end of the deal, but I don't trust you to keep yours. Cancel the date first. I've got a lot more to lose than you do, he argued. Prenup first. Unless you're stalling because you know your mother really is a... I put up both my fists in fighting mode. Call her that again, I dared him. His eyes dropped to my chest. I didn't know that you were excited to see me, Lexi. He was just baiting me because I knew I wasn't aroused. I still instinctively covered my breast from his gaze, and he laughed at me. You're so paranoid about hiding what other girls are dying to show me, he commented. It would be cute if you didn't have that stick permanently stuck up your ass. His voice hardened along with his expression. Don't think I'll go easy on you if you cross me. This date will be only the beginning. I know that Skylar tells you everything, and I'll make sure there's plenty to tell. Then when I'm done with her, she'll be crying on your shoulder for months, and you'll know that it's all your fault. I stared at him. How can you be like this? How can you do that to Skylar? I haven't done anything yet, he said, but I will if you don't stick to our deal. Mom arrived home then, and was delighted to see Cade visiting us. He affected his polite demeanor with her, and he promised that he would stay for dinner another time. I'm going out with some friends, he lied. I just stopped over to talk to Lexi about our history project. We were assigned as partners today, and I realized that I don't even have her number. So then I was forced to exchange phone numbers with him in front of my mom. He'd also manipulated me into being partners with him while underscoring his second demand in this deal he wanted me to make with him. Now I would have to drop Jenna as my partner. I've got to go meet my friends, he said. See you tomorrow at school, Lexi. Bye, Miss Chapman. Oh, call me Sarah, Mom told him. He smiled at her, and it was a shame that it was a false smile because it would have been wonderful if it was real. She didn't deserve his animosity, and it would have been great if he was welcoming her into his family. I wouldn't even have minded if he didn't like me as long as he accepted my mom. Okay, Sarah, you have a good evening, he told her. You too, Cade, she replied and smiled warmly at him. She stood back watching as I went to the door with him. He stepped out into the hallway and turned back to give me an intense look that communicated an unspoken warning about his ultimatum. I kept my expression blank in response. Let him wonder if I was going to follow through in our deal. I'm so glad you're getting along, Mom said when I closed the door. We were worried how the two of you would handle becoming step-siblings, but we should have known there wouldn't be any problem. You're both such good kids. Cade sure had her fooled, and he was demanding that I deceive her too. I felt like the opposite of a good kid when I broached the subject of a prenuptial agreement with her. But she surprised me when she answered that she had already suggested it to Robert. He won't even think about it, she exclaimed. He says he knows that he can trust me, and that's that. I relaxed in relief. That's great, Mom. I don't care about his money, she insisted to me. I know that, Mom, I assured her. Your father didn't have any money, and I loved him with all my heart. Her expression always softened when she mentioned my dad, and I felt a lump in my throat. They were so much in love, and we would have been the perfect little family if he had lived. Mom and I wouldn't have to be trying to fit into this new family where we didn't belong. I longed for the simplicity of the family life I had never actually experienced. I didn't think for a second that I could actually have that with Kate around, but I assumed that he would be satisfied that my mom had proven herself to Robert without my prompting. She had fulfilled the deal for me without even knowing it, and I expected Cade to uphold his end.